Hi there. So I have jumped ahead, and the reason why I've jumped ahead is I've done the planks here, and I've done the steps. I've unwrapped both of these. The reason being is I look back at the unwrap videos, and there's enough. There's enough there for you to grasp how to unwrap and organize your UV islands. I don't need to keep showing you the same thing over and over again. So I went ahead and I did these two. I'm going to show you them. Unwrap. But I'm not going to show you how to do them. There's my steps. Sorry, that's my planks, and that's the bits of wood. For this, I used less UV space on these than I did the planks because they're going to be underneath. You're not going to see them. So they only take up a smaller portion than the planks. All the planks are in proportion with each other, so they'll take up the same amount of space. And the steps I unwrapped. It didn't take very long, That's my steps. It all fits in quite nicely, so I probably could arrange these a little better, but I let Max do most of the work here. So that's my steps. That's my steps, and yeah, pretty straightforward. So I'm going to let you, as a small challenge, you can do these two for yourself, because you don't want to be watching me unwrap models until whenever. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pick objects that are different or that has something new in them for you to learn in terms of unwrapping objects, because it's done. Like I said, you've learned how to do it, so you don't need to keep seeing me do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this wall. We're going to do the walls next, because that is a bit different. We're going to tile them. We're going to split them up, so it'd be good for you to understand how I split them up and what the plan is for this. And then we'll do the door. I might do that. I might let you do the door, but we will do the door for the window frame, because it's quite a complex mesh. That. Yeah, there's a bit of work to be done on that. I might do a little bit of optimizing, and we need to sort out those meshes that are flickering inside there. So that needs a little bit of work on that. So let's do the walls now. So select that, hide unselected. So here they are. And what I plan to do here is just tile twice. I'm going to use a 2K texture. And I'm going to tile twice that way, twice that way, twice that way, and twice that way. And it's going to use the same, obviously, UV space. Should be fine. And then the corners, I'm going to use a different piece of wood texture, so it'll have a sub-material on this object. And we'll just do the tops. The interior will get the same treatment as the interior of the roof. Very small space, so not too fussed about that. So if we select all these faces here, by the way, I made another texture which you can download in this lecture. It's a 2048 one, just a grid. So we'll select a slot to put it in, click on the little button next to diffuse, select bitmap, go and find your texture once you've downloaded it. And I put mine in meshes temp, because we're not going to keep it. See the 2048 one, open, select these faces at the back here, all of them, like so. Just select, yep, and assign this material to it. Click show. That's cool. Okay. Alright, so I need to UV, just click on UV map there. This is the same drill as before. Click on normal align, so it's in alignment, and then click fit. Okay, that's excellent. So we need to tile it twice on the U, so click 2. So we're going to tile it across twice, and you can see this wall here is obviously lower than this wall here, so we need to make this the same height as that. So we just need to get our gizmo. Let's see if we can scale it. Yes, there it is. If you just want to move it, just move this for now in close to there so we can see the height, and just move it up. See, it's way too high now, so put it down again. So it's roughly the same, because we want the walls all to be the same texel size. We don't want big pixels here and then small pixels there. It's got to be fairly consistent. I mean, if it's slightly out, it probably won't matter so much. We're going to cover it in moss and what have you anyway, so we're going to cover it in plants and various things. Okay, so that's good. Let's just move it down. Yeah, okay, so there you go. It's got 2048 and it's tiled across. Collapse that. So that's tiled across there. That's cool. Okay, now this side. This should be a lot easier. I'm going to select the faces on this side. Actually, we're not going to do those because we're going to put different material on those. Only on the front. Yep. So we're going to assign this material to that. We're going to normal align it. So we're going to UV map, sorry, and then we're going to normal align, and we're going to click fit, and we're going to do 2. See, it's already the right height because it automatically knows how big those polygons are. So we go 2 on there, like so. It should be fairly consistent with that, which it is. Yes, slight difference at the top, but that's fine. See, that's all nice and straight. Let's do the front. And here I'm just shrinking the UVs on the interior walls just so as we can have something on them. We have to have some form of texture, but we're not cared what it looks like because I'm not, like I said before, I'm not focused on the interior for this course. Maybe another course, interiors. And so we're just going to squash them all down and just push them to the side. We just have to have something there so it's nice and consistent and doesn't look really awful when you're looking from the outside in through the window. Okay, so I've got some faces on the inside. I've got some weird unwrapping here, and I've just discovered that I've got some weird faces on the inside there. So we're going to just move these out of the way, and then we're going, once we finish unwrapping, we're going to go in and delete those. I suspect that's probably the same on the other side. Yes, so that's on the inside. When I created my floor, I didn't delete the edge faces, so we're going to get rid of those. That's the interior of the door. I'm just pulling it all apart here so we can organise it a bit better, because I'm going to put some different materials on certain elements of this hut. So that's that side. Just okay, so let's just move, because that's going to share that. This is the top. Yeah, half. It's one half of the top. And that's obviously the other half. Okay, so they're all going to share. So where is this over here? Got no UVs. Why is that not got any UVs? So that's the that's the door. Interior. Doesn't really matter because you're not going to see that. Oh, you will there actually. Okay, so it needs to be the same where the floor is. Okay, so this is that there, but it's not working out for some reason. That's not happening. Let's move this. Over to this side. That's the bottom of that, which is good. We need that. So small. Okay. So let me just go in and delete these faces in here. Yep, that's one. Delete. That'll get rid of those weird now I'm just going to figure out why this is not. Just very strange. Just UV map that, box it for now. Let's just unwrap that. Let's have a look. Okay, so I think everything's got a UV map on it. So if we unwrap it all now, open our editor. Oh, yep, that looks good. Right, so we need to shrink this down because this is a bit that went wrong. It needs to be the same size as that. And we can just, once it's all down in the correct size, we can scale it all accordingly, you know, universally. Together. So we just make this the right correct size. See, this is why I didn't want to do all the objects. It can be, you know, watching this is not that much fun. Doing it is not that much fun, but it's one of those things that needs to be done. But there are certain techniques you can learn, which is why I have done a lot of objects, and you can see me sort of messing about with it. It's a little fiddly process, but you know, it's part of the course. It's got to be done. Right, so this is the plan with all these objects. These are tiled. Let's just select. So make sure you've got the this button down here, element selected. That way it will select the whole element. And to scroll these back into position so the UV space is correct in the correct position. With a little bit off the ground. This outside one needs to be just in line, and so does that. Just off. Let's move it in a bit. And that one, in you go, and that one, in you go. There you go. Right, so that's all them in position. Which is excellent. So these are all going to go in separate. In fact, all of this is going to go in a separate material. Separate. Yes. All the inside, basically. Not the outside, because that's got a big texture on it. Okay, that's good. This is fine because when it all gets mapped and then it gets into Unity, you know, it will have shadows on it. We'll be baking ambient occlusion on it, and I might even get it into Substance and paint extra sort of moss and bits on it. You know, the problem with that will be if we paint moss here, it's going to appear here. If I paint a moss there, it's going to appear on this side. So, and the same, you know, if I paint moss here, it will appear all around if we use the same texture. We could have a couple of 2048s for different, you know, a different one for the front, and use one for the back and sides. But it's entirely up to you. I might do that actually because that's quite a good compromise there. So.